You're what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode, recording live stream of DTYDT, Deeper Than You Don't Think. Uh, I'm Zay, and this reaction today is gonna be on one of the deceptions, especially the people of body in the body of Christ, kind of fall under, or sometimes we don't fall under it, but through our relationship with Christ and the way how we um, try to gain more understanding, we will get knowledge and all these different learnings from different areas. And sometimes it can sound like it's coming from the Bible, or it could sound like it's from the all-knowing God, all-seeing God, the all-omnipotent God, right? And we have to make sure we don't get caught up, and it's not about having the discussions, but it's about getting in an argument or back and forth or a debate where we are not even on solid foundation, and the person who we might be refuting it, or the people who might be trying to teach us this, we will have nothing to stand on if we don't really understand what's going on. Because a lot of us don't even understand a lot about spirituality and demonology when it comes to actually when we read the Bible and stuff. I don't know how come we miss some. Matter of fact, I know how we miss it, because in my first attempt of reading the Bible and whatnot, it's hard, right? There's a lot of misconceptions, and when you're reading with your eyes, you think you know, like, what you're reading, right? But without any further ado, let's just get into the video. Oh, okay, so the video that we're reviewing is from a podcast called No Fugazi Podcast. All right, shout out to Cooley. This is my first time, one of my first times actually seeing and reviewing this channel. It's a pretty good channel. He holds Christian values in a lot of different areas. I really don't know that much more about him other than, from this video and another video that I have watched. But it's been pretty, enlightening so far to see the discussions and what people be presenting to him. But this video we're reviewing is basically someone who believes that the black woman is God, right? And we have to make sure we catch these things and nip it in the bud, especially when it comes to the ones who are around us, right? Because even myself, I almost thought that somehow God was more feminine because, the creating and all that other stuff like that. But the more I studied not only the Bible, but, accounts of creation and all that different stuff, and basically how, God actually are in relationship with the people he calls to him, it's more fatherly than than motherly, as much as especially for those who love to hear the female is God, or the female is this, the female is whatever. And accounting creation and how things went, the man came first, the woman is a helpmate, she came after. But with all the capabilities that women have, the black woman is not God, the woman is not God. Of course, God is in us all, or most of us. I don't want to say in us all, because there's the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. So when we get down to it, God is in most of us, but we turn away from God. There's so much different religiosities that are more attractive, where people just they like the things that they like, and the things that make them feel nice in the mind and in the body, and the things that allows them to do all the other things. But the God of heaven and earth and the things above under the earth, he don't tolerate any and everything. And of course, there's grace and there's mercy, but those are not licensed to do what we want to do, right? But anyways, again, the podcast is called No Fugazi Podcast. I'll have it in the description. Excuse me for talking so long, but I really got to get all this stuff through. And we really need a better understanding of the things that are going on. And we really have to learn to sit through stuff, man. All right? But again, podcast, No Fugazi Podcast. The guy name is Cooley. Gentleman here, his name will be on there as well. But they was having just a debate about the black woman and whatnot. So let's just get into it and see what's it hitting for.
So you said that basically when we peel back all the layers, the black woman is God. Before, I'm just repeating back what you said to let you know that I understood exactly what you said. You said, as you know, before we've adopted before that, or even, okay.
Correct.
Now, where does the father, my question for you is, where does the man come in? Where does the father or the man come into this picture? The black man or any man?
All right. Now, regards to the father is a social construct that has nothing to do with nature. So somebody made up this whole father aspect. Man is something totally different. You grow into the man, but we go through stages in life to get to a man. So in regards to me, I had to go from a embryo, to an infant, to a toddler, teenager, young adult, and then I graduated into a man. So when we're talking about those two terms, you got to go to get to a man. And then when you're talking about...
So what he's explaining right now is the evolution, basically a seed or a child, right? He talking about the stages before we leave our mother's womb, from the egg being what's the word? The egg being penetrated and being I forgot the word when you start to grow. But you guys know where I'm heading at. So he's talking about the evolutionary process of a man, right? So he asked him, where do the men come in when it comes into, but let's continue.
About a father, there's nowhere that there's a father in nature. So a father would be unnatural. That's just something to compete with the woman.
Okay, so you're saying that the father is unnatural, but the woman is natural.
Correct.
Do I have that correct? And you're
Correct,
saying
correct.
the reason why, you really didn't give a reason why the father would be unnatural. So what's your reasoning that the father is unnatural? Explain, give me some logic, however you could,
Right.
The logic
was nature. I said that there was not a father found in nature. There's nowhere in nature that you can find a father. You have a male. So at the end of the day, there's no father. Father is a social construct. That's something to put itself into existence to be opposite of the mother. But there's no such thing really as a father.
Can you explain how the father is a social construct?
It's a social construct due to the fact is you're talking about a label that's being placed on a man being a father. Can you be a father at 12 years old?
I mean, I think I had when I was 12 years old, man. So
okay,
you could be a father when you're 12 years old. You could have definitely planted your seed in something. Yes. Let's just go with
now being a man at 12 years old. Of course, due to age and all those different things, and of course we have in different areas of life where people, especially males, they have had to, be a provider or whatever the case may be, depending on the situation and the living situation in that time. Like, of course, we had to make, for those individuals per se, they had to make better decisions. They had to grow up quicker, even though they are in that area and in that sphere. Can't really say that person is a man, but of course, due to the duties and the things that person do, society will want to qualify that as, as being a man, but he's talking about a father. Where do the father come in, right? Where do the father come into a situation in life, you know? Let's continue.
Do you think there's any differences between men and women?
It's kind of like you're trying to be condescending to the point where you have no comprehension. Like, you don't have no comprehension in what I'm saying to you in a response to the point where you can't fathom it. What do you mean? I don't
No.
understand what you. Then you go to the next question after you sit there and tell me that you didn't understand. Shit. Like
No, no,
come
no.
on,
Not
bro. Like we gonna turn
understand.
this into. Is this some
Not
type of
understand.
entertainment or something? I'm just asking you. I thought it was about the black woman as God. I don't know you. I
Well,
didn't research you. I just
totally
came over here
fine.
because. Okay. So what are we doing? What
We'll
are we
speak
doing?
in detail. What we're doing is having a discussion, man to
Mm-hmm,
man, right?
mm-hmm.
You just said that the man is a social construct,
I said the
right?
father is. You're
Or the
saying that the
father
man
is a
is. Right.
okay.
It was two things. You asked me
Let's
about the man and
excuse
the
it.
father.
You said, well, that because the father is not from nature, and I want you to explain how isn't the father not from nature. That's what I want you to do. I want you to explain how it's a social construct and it's not from nature. Because here's what I'll tell you. Nothing grows unless a seed is planted. Nothing grows on this planet unless a seed is planted. And every man holds the seed in them. Every man holds the seed of life form. Life form in us. In your sack, if you have enough testosterone, but I know in my sack, I got at least 80 million of them little niggas moving around in there. You know what I'm saying? Most men do with a good amount of testosterone. So therefore we have seed and the life form starts there. You won't have a plant if you don't plant a seed first. So you saying that a father is a social construct is a lie is what I'm saying. Dispute the point that the father doesn't hold the seed. So we plant the seed in a woman and then life grows from that. Women bring about life. The life form is actually in a man. So explain to me again how the father is a social construct when the father holds the seed and a woman holds nothing but eggs. She's waiting for a seed.
Okay.
You don't make sense, man. Let me hear
Okay.
you.
You haven't given me a chance to make sense. You're wrong. And you're wrong in the way to sit there and say that the sperm is a seed. How could you have seeds running up and through your body? That makes no sense. A seed is not a fucking tadpole with a tail. That's not a seed. So in regards to it, you're wrong. Now, if you're talking about an apple seed or
Explain
orange
how I'm
seed,
wrong, though.
listen, an avocado seed or whatever the case may be, now we can get into the comparison on how the woman gives the man the whole body, the construct, the brain, the lungs, the face, the skin. She's creating a child within a womb. So she gives him the penis too. Did you forget that she gave him the
Incorrect.
sperm? So
Can
in
you
regards
explain
to
in
it,
a scientific way, from a biological way, how doesn't a man hold the seed in the life form? You're just speaking, but I need you to peel back the layers to things and give facts. This podcast is called No Fugazi. So if I'm speaking, I'm always going to speak with facts. So here's a fact for you. The woman doesn't determine the sex of the baby. She has an X chromosome. The man holds the X and the Y chromosome, right? So here's science, right? So when a man has sex with a woman, he dictates the sex of the baby. So you just said, where do you get a penis from? Where do you get this from? Where do you get that from? You get that from the man, since the man determines the sex of the baby. Do you get it? Women only hold the X chromosome, men hold the X and a Y. That's scientifically facts that proves that what you just said is nonsense, and men do dictate the sex of the baby. So if he's dictating the sex of the baby, let's peel the layer back even further. That means that the man actually dictates how many men are going to be in this world, how many women are going to be in this world. The list goes on and on. Your father dictated that you would have a beard. Your father dictated that you would have a beard and be a man, from what I could see. You get what I'm saying? Your mother didn't determine that, so you should be thanking your father, because your father truly created you. Anything for that, man? Scientifically, can you dispute what I said?
you sound uneducated. like to the point where this is so level of surface to the point.
God dang,
How
man.
could you?
Okay,
How could you
educate
sit
me.
here? I'm just asking you, like, how could you
Educate
sit
me.
here and tell
I'm
me that
fine.
my father gave me what all males are females before they turn into a male based off the decision of the mother. Every male.
Okay. When we pay attention in science class, biology, or whatnot, or even if we've had sex education in school, they talk about where the sperm generates. Now, if we talking about the seed, the sperm is seed, right? The sperm is in the sac. Excuse my language, but these are the scientific terms that they use, right? It's in the sac. So now you know you got the balls. That's where we hold those seeds, right? Now there's a whole bunch of different, makeups down there, but when you explain this, we use the scientific term, right, of the body, it gives you a good breakdown and explanation. Prayerfully, we paid attention in science class, so we know this stuff. Also, I took a medical assistant course at a certain point, so I had to go over certain things of the body, and whatever I didn't remember, of course, I relearned around that time, right? So here's somebody giving the information and the facts about how the body works, right? It's proven in science. Ain't like we talking about space, right? They could lie about space, but this is about the body, right? They lie about our food and all these other things. Now, here's somebody on the other hand now telling somebody that what came out of the book and what it is that scientists say about the body, saying that he's wrong. Now, where did we come from with this mysticism of like the father is a social construct? See, when we don't understand spirituality, we start to mix and mingle so many different things when it comes to what we believe. So we have to be careful of what it is that we put our belief in, because that becomes a stronghold, right? So now when somebody say, or if I had put like, oh, this is demonic, or that mindset is demonic, somebody will come at me. I'm like, oh, you Christians is da 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 da, all of this and that. But what a stronghold is, what deception is believing something that goes against the facts and the evidence that is presented to you. So now there's something really holding you on to that thought or whatever it is, that belief that you had came into, right? Or even to get that stronghold up out of your mind, there's so much things that's covering it, that's securing it down in your mind to make sure that you hold on to it. We're talking about deception here. We're talking about our stronghold here, right? Nothing against, King Knowledge or whatever, like however he grew up, the things that he learned is what he used to build the man that he is now. So to believe that his mom or his mother is God, I could understand why he would believe that, because he grew up with his mother mostly. She's the one who probably provided and did all these different other things, and it could have been somewhere where she still had some hate against men or the person that or the people that hurt her, and the things that she taught him created this stronghold in the mind where to believe the thing that are true, even though if the evidence is presented to you, eludes you, right? Deception. But let's continue. Let's look in a little bit more.
and look at their actual scrotum sac and see a line from the bottom of their scrotum sac to the tip of their penis. All male. That means you were sold up. Your testicles are nothing but your ovaries. Your penis is nothing but an elongated clitoris. At the end of the day, you're nothing but an inside out female. I'm sorry that this man has never been told that, and he doesn't understand that he was made in the likeness and the image of his mother. I'm sorry that before anybody ever taught him anything, his mother was there. Your mother is literally the only thing that you know in life. You don't even know if that's your father, but your mother knows if it's your father or not. You know everything about your mother because that's where you came from. That's your first home. That's your first origin. The black woman has always been considered God, even before the patriarch took over and started to actually make a male God. But it was never a male that was being God. It was always the woman. In Islam, it was the woman. In the Catholic Church, it was the woman. In ancient Egypt, it was the woman. In Samaria, Mesopotamia, Babylon, it was the woman. Phoenicia, it was the woman. Chaldea was the woman. But if he doesn't know that,
See, now all those different, I don't know, religions, cultures that he named are all deceptive cultures, right? Where they don't come to the final truth of who the creator is or who Jesus was. All those people, they have in their text or in their writing, a being came and gave them whatever, right? Now, if you see that tree is listed in so many different other cultures, all those different religions and beliefs, and especially the occult, they got these trees in their books or in their writings talking about whatever it is, right? Even in the Roman Catholic, when they talk about Mother Mary, they don't know she's a fallen angel who gave them that story. So now they just believe that, it's the father, the son, and the mother, and all the stuff like that. But they don't know they have been deceived, right? Now, if all these churches were really believing in the true God, why are we separated? Do we really believe in the true God? And before I even go over to that side, just let me stay on topic, right? All those different places and times that he had listed, they were not people of God. They weren't people of God. Of course, they passed out information and they gave information, but these is things that were taught to people who met the ones who fell, right? For us who don't know, some fell and some were sent, right? So now all these different knowledge of certain things that we wasn't supposed to know, all those other religions, that's what they end up having, right? Even Christianity itself, Christianity, the religion, they have their own deceptions as well, right? So when you hear somebody's a Christian, you gotta really think, is this person really a follower of Christ, or does this person follow religion? Okay, all those different things that you have named or that he named, the origin of those stories and those beliefs, they come from those who fell, not from those who were sent. Perfectly, we believe this, but let's get a little bit more in
means he's
here.
not reading. I'm telling you, I'm trying to respond to the man, even to the point where if a woman is making up your whole total makeup and she's using her menstrual blood to do it within her womb, that's why you women don't bleed for 9 months. You literally coagulate a child in your womb. What does the man have to do with it? Is the man shooting blood in you, woman, or is he literally giving you his DNA via his sperm? So when you're actually making this baby in your womb, you're using your blood. That's why you don't bleed for 9 months. When that baby comes out, that is a product of its mother. So the baby
And the
literally
baby is not made in the womb. The baby is not made in the womb, but the baby is grown in the womb till it comes to full term to be born in this life. Okay, because the two things that's needed for the egg to start to to develop right? Everything is already there. The sperm, the egg. Once those two come in contact with each other, right, something starts to develop and it starts to grow in the womb, right? It's not being made, but it's actually being grown, right? And due to whatever properties are inside the body and being replaced in the body, those are the things that are put and used to form, to grow, and cultivate the the fetus that's in there until it becomes for a turn to be grown, right? Let's get a little bit more in here because it gets a little bit crazy. So,
develops through life. As the baby develops through life, we get to puberty. That's when our body chemically starts to actually make the sperm in our body. But it came from our mother. Everything comes from your mother. You get it from your mother. Your mother is your God. Your father is not your God. The sperm in his body comes from his mother. Where do you think we got our body from? You didn't make this. You don't have nothing to do with your face. You don't have nothing to do with your head and none of that. Your mama gave that to you. She birthed you. How could you sit there and say that she's not your God? Your mother was
right, but our God, He knows the hairs that we have on our head, right? The God of heaven, He knows how many hairs is on your head. He said He knew us before we was in our mother's womb. So now, if we thinking of, as a person being on God, we gonna have to go a little bit deeper because it's more than just, with the eyes.
God before you was taught about God. Somebody had to tell you about God in order for you to believe them. Now in your mind, that's God. But what if your mother knew she was God? She would teach you about God. How can a man be a God when he cannot produce life? A man cannot sustain life. He does not have breast milk.
Got you. You done or are you still going?
No, go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm respectful. So if you want to go and respond, you can go.
Okay. So, I mean, everything you said was just nonsense. It didn't make any sense. It didn't correlate to anything.
Which part?
It didn't,
Which
one
part?
plus
Which
one
part?
didn't add up.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't have any rebuttal to it. You just started speaking nonsense. But let me ask you a question.
I have to force myself to speak because you won't allow me to.
Does one
You're
plus
asking
one
me
equal
another
two?
question.
Does one plus one equal two?
No, one and one come together, they merge. That's one, right? Think about it,
Okay.
right?
God dang.
When
So,
one and one
chat
come together,
proves
they
my
merge,
point.
right?
The nigga don't know
Right.
what one
One
plus
and
one
one
equals.
merge, right?
He said that
One
and one
one, put it
merges.
together, they merge. One, right? If I
Oh,
come
god
together with a
dang.
woman, don't I go into that woman? Don't me and
All
that
right.
woman
Bro,
go into each other? Now we one?
bro, what is with this 1 + 1 equals something else? Okay. I watched another one of his one of his live stream after this video, I believe. Or I watched the live stream first and then I watched this one. But it was 4 people that came up. Or was it 3? I know 2 was guys. 1 was a woman. And other than the black woman being God, dude was singing 1 + 1 = 3. Bro, are we adding spirituality to the equation? Because if that's the case, why are we doing this? Are we talking about mathematics or are we talking about spirituality? Are we talking about beliefs? Now, we start going down all these different rabbit holes when it comes to a certain type of conversation. Now, how 1 + 1 = 1? How 1 + 1 = 3? Now, if you say 1 + 1 plus God equals whatever God's puts there, right? 1 + 1 plus God equals whatever they put there. But now we're just doing all this nonsense of 1 + 1 = 1. 1 + 1 = 3 because the 2 comes together and they make one more, so that's 3. Like, whoa, what are we talking about? Matter of fact, put it in your calculator. Or matter of fact, when you go to your job and you doing, you do that 1 + 1, right? Do that one. Oh my gosh. Use whatever, man. That is wrong. 1 + 1 is not 1. Right? 1 + 1 is not 3. All right? Unless we're doing a mathematical equation where it's 1 to the something power or something. 1 + 1 is 2. Right? 1 times 1 is 1. But according to with his name, New Discovery, Terrence Howard, New Discovery. You know, I understand though, because when we say a penny versus a penny plus a penny equals two penny, but one plus one, like a dollar. So we just talking about the decimal points of a penny and one. So we are kind of like really in between, not really understanding the true value of one. Because if a dollar is 100 pennies and a dollar is one, how is one penny, and it equals one? If you guys get it or whatever, I'm trying not to go too far off, but let's get a few more minutes in here. I'm trying not to keep this too long, but
I got my dick, I ain't on one. At the end of the day, what you
So you
mean?
got a
One plus
watch
one
on your
equals
left
two.
hand. You got a watch on your left hand. If you
Right.
put
Here we go.
another watch on your left hand, will you have one watches or two watch?
They're on the same hand. It's just one watch that they put together. If you leave, they merge together. You see what I'm
Uh,
talking about? You want me to
if
have
you
two?
put the watch
My
on
boy
a
melts the
different
watch.
hand, would you have two watches on you?
I don't know. If you take a man wig off, then would you have be bald headed? I don't know, bro. We all got questions that they ask. How many shit? I mean, what you want to do? I don't
What?
know, bro.
I'm
Is we on
curious.
this build? Are we on this build or what? What we gonna do, bro?
This what
What
we
we
gonna
gonna
do?
do?
Cause I'm actually curious. Cause the last
Mm.
people I had on here, I had
I ain't gonna
four.
lie. King over there, I don't think he really understands the discussion, right? I do think that he understands what he understands for him that got him to that point in his life. But the discussion that's going on right here, I really think is going over his head, right? King is trying to teach Cooley something, and Cooley is trying to teach King something. The reason why Cooley is not accepting whatever it is that he's saying, because those things that he learned, it's like he's not using facts. And he's not using not only just physical as evidence you can see with your eyes, because he even tried to use that as well as like, oh, the line going around here, it shows that you're the opposite representation of who your mother was, so your mother who gave you these things. Like, I understand that, right? And I understand where he's coming from, but that is completely wrong, right? The guy on the right in the white t-shirt, he's completely wrong. And I do believe he misunderstands the conversations that are going on right now. Now, I pray that he do coming to an understanding of what it is that is being communicated, because that is deception at its highest right now. And prayerfully, because I'm seeing it a lot, especially in black people, especially in my community. Like, you would see a certain person, and once they start talking, they draw to that person. And even though that person has knowledge and whatnot, the people that are being drawn to that person or likes to go hear that kind of stuff, they don't know it's deception. That just gives me, I gotta be better in Christ, because if people like this are out here and they are getting their attention, well, the body of Christ is not doing their job as we should. So I will play some more, but this has gone on very long. There's a link to this full video in the description. Also, you can also follow the new Fugazi podcast. It's also in the link there. So if you do want to check out his channel. His name is Cooley, from what I've seen so far. It's called It's called No Fugazi Podcast. You guys give it a check. Check it out. If you learned something here, I pray you guys were able to fix some things in your thoughts and your minds when it comes to either religion or your belief in Christ, reading the Bible. If you learned something, I pray that you share this with someone. Make sure you guys drop a like if there's any questions. You guys can, comment and whatnot. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right? Zay signing out of DTYDT. Peace.